Yo everybody, my name is Chris Punsalan. Welcome back to another video. So a few weeks ago, I took Timbaland's Masterclass and a lot of you wanted to know my thoughts. So here are my thoughts. First and foremost, I think it's a great idea that Masterclass is reaching out to these legends like Timbo and squeezing out stories and squeezing out information while these people are still alive. So I think this is the closest that some of us will ever get to being in the studio with Timbo. So for that aspect alone, I think it's worth the money. Throughout the course, Timbaland, his engineer, and his team of producers create a track from scratch, and with each layer that they add, they go super in-depth with why they chose certain sounds, pockets, and grooves. They even show you what their screens look like during this process, so you can see the plugins they're using and how their project looks. Timbo also tells the origin story of Pony by Genuine, Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah, Dirt Off Your Shoulder by Jay-Z, and Gossip Folks by Missy Elliott. So I did take away a few things from the masterclass and implemented them into my process, but personally, I think I would have preferred to see Timbo in the studio creating with his producers and his engineer without having to explain what's going on to the camera. I felt like every time somebody would explain what's going on, it kind of took away from the session. It just shifted the entire energy, and I would have preferred to see Timbo just interacting with the producers and not having to explain what's going on to the camera. I think maybe if the cameras were handheld and acted as flies on the wall and just documented the entire thing and maybe had Timbo narrate what's going on after the session, I think that would have been better for me personally. I think if maybe Timbo was in the studio with Missy Elliott or Jay-Z for like 3 days and they documented the entire session and just had Timbo narrate after what's going on during the session, I think I would have paid triple what I paid to see something like that. I just think at this point in my producing career, I think it's just more interesting to see producers creating instead of talking about the technical side of things. And not saying that I can't learn from the technical side of things or that I know everything, but that's just what's more interesting to me. And I do understand that Masterclass has to structure their courses in a way, and maybe the style that I'm asking for just won't work with the style that they have to provide. But that's just what I would have preferred. But I don't want that critique to take away from Masterclass. The video was really well produced. The audio is really good. The course is broken down into different sections. There's different notes. There's a community that you can interact with and ask questions. You can even submit what you've made to Timbo and get his critique on certain things. Obviously, he can't get back to everybody that sends tracks, but you know, there's that. And yeah, I just think personally, I just would prefer to see these types of videos in a different style. And I think if you're a fan of Timbaland and you're a fan of his production and you like the songs that he's produced, then I think this class is worth it. I think it's worth it to see his thought process behind certain songs and just the way he attacks the production process. So yeah, they provided some stems to the song that they created, and I flipped it. So here's that. So after going through the stems and trying different arrangements, I ended up just liking the percussion, the bass, and the main chords. So I took the main chords and the bass and re-recorded them into Ableton so I can chop them up on the Ableton Push and then play them over some drums. So I auto-sliced the sample as I usually do on the Ableton Push, chopped it up into 16 different pieces, and played this sequence. Just wanted to show you guys the other stuff that I added. After I filmed, I ended up adding this flute using analog brass and winds, changed up the bass line, and this is what it sounds like. Yeah. And that is going to conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. The full beat is linked in the description. If you have any questions about anything, leave them down in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. Shout out to Masterclass. This video was not sponsored by them, so you're welcome for the free content. And I realized how many times I said the word Timbo in this video, so I'm sorry for that. I don't know, play a drinking game and every time I say the word Timbo, just fucking take a shot. Peace. I'll see you guys in the next one.